Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something pretty radical, a proposal for Australia's justice system that wants to rebuild trust, not with promises, but with cold, hard cryptographic proof. And this right here is the question at the very heart of it. It's asking us to imagine a world where we don't just have to hope our public institutions are honest. Instead, we could actually verify it for ourselves through a system that's transparent and provable. And let's be clear, this isn't just some philosophical thought experiment. The proposal is aimed squarely at very real-world problems. The justice system is this huge, complex thing, and it struggles with data, being stuck in different silos, a ton of administrative waste, and maybe most importantly, a growing trust gap with the very public it's supposed to serve. So how do you even begin to fix that? Well, the proposal starts with a pretty profound shift in thinking. It basically argues that we should start treating truth and fairness like a public utility. Something as essential and reliable as your water or your electricity. This slide just lays out the core idea perfectly. We're talking about a move away from what they call rhetorical integrity, which is where we trust institutions because they tell us they're trustworthy based on their reputation. And we're moving towards verifiable integrity. This is a system where trust is earned because every single record gets a unique mathematical fingerprint. If anyone changes anything, even a single comma, that fingerprint breaks and everyone knows it's been touched. That's the power of cryptographic proof. Okay, so how do you actually do that? How do you make integrity something you can prove with math? Well, the answer laid out in this plan is a technology framework called Awonow OS. At its core, Awonow OS is described as a lawful intelligence system. Now, its job isn't to replace judges or lawyers, not at all. Think of it more like a super secure, bulletproof notary for the entire justice system. Its whole purpose is to make sure every piece of data is authentic, it's all unified, and it can be verified by anyone at any time. So it's built from 4 key pieces. You've got the orchestrator, that's kind of like the central mailroom directing all of the data where it needs to go. Then there's final seal, which is like the digital wax seal that proves a document hasn't been tampered with. Scroll witness is the security guard's logbook, writing down every single person who ever looks at that document. And finally, mirror logic is the analyst, poring over all the data to spot patterns of bias or inefficiency. All right, so when you put all those pieces together, they create this incredible, unbreakable chain of verifiable truth. So let's just walk through how that actually works in practice, step by step. Okay, check this out. It's a 4-step process. First, data comes in through the orchestrator. Second, mirror logic analyzes it for fairness. Third, final seal puts that cryptographic lock on it, making it unchangeable. And fourth, scroll witness records the entire event in a permanent log. Now, the crucial part, the really important bit, is that once that record is sealed, it's mathematically impossible to change it without breaking the seal. That gives you a perfect, permanent audit trail. Now, making a system provably honest sounds great, right? But what about the cost? I mean, does this thing actually make financial sense? Well, according to this proposal, the financial case isn't just strong. It's staggering. Get this. The total cost to pilot the system and then roll it out across the entire state is estimated at just $4.25 million Australian dollars. That's it. A one-time investment. But now, look at the return. The proposal projects between $25 and $35 million in administrative savings every single year. That's from cutting down on things like transcript disputes, data errors, and compliance costs. I mean, you do the math. The entire system pays for itself in just 2 to 3 months. It's pretty incredible. And if you're still trying to wrap your head around that number, this table just puts it in a whole new perspective. The savings from just a few months of the system running is equivalent to the entire lifetime earnings of a magistrate or even a Supreme Court judge. In just 1 year, the system creates more public value than the combined career salaries of multiple senior legal figures. Just let that sink in for a moment. But, the money is only half the story. The creators of this proposal argue that the real payoff here isn't just financial. It's about restoring trust by taking these big, kind of abstract ideas like justice and fairness and actually making them measurable. You see, the whole point of this radical transparency is to tackle that decline in public confidence head on. And the goal is super clear. Take public trust from where it is now, around 54%, and push it all the way up to 80% within just 2 years. A concrete, measurable target. And how do they plan to do that? with something I think is genuinely revolutionary: public-facing metrics. You've got the Integrity Index, or IX, which measures how reliable the records are. And then there's the Fairness Index, or FI, which measures procedural equality. Things like whether certain groups are facing longer delays. And the best part? These numbers wouldn't be buried in some government report. They'd be right there on public dashboards for you, me, for everyone to see. Now, I really want to stress this. This is not just some academic white paper or a cool tech concept. No, this is a formal, non-commercial, real-deal legislative proposal that has been submitted to Parliament. It has a clear roadmap to become reality. And the plan is smart about it. It doesn't try to boil the ocean all at once. It starts small and scales intelligently. First, a focused 6-month pilot in the Supreme and county courts, just to prove the concept, with transcript verification. From there, it expands over 36 months to eventually connect all the major justice agencies, creating true system-wide transparency. And this is crucial. This isn't just tech people running the whole show. The act would establish a public integrity board. And look who's on it: judges, government lawyers, cybersecurity and human rights experts, and even a regular citizen representative. It's a diverse group designed to make absolutely sure that the technology serves the public interest, not the other way around. So let's just recap the whole thing. What's the bottom line here? What does this all add up to? Well, you get a system with verifiable, tamper-proof integrity. That, in turn, generates enormous annual savings. You get radical transparency through public dashboards and true accountability with logs that can't be changed. And maybe for the first time, you get the power to actually measure, and therefore improve, fairness for everyone. The proposal includes this really powerful statement, which I think just gets to the heart of the ambition here. This isn't just about better record keeping. It's about building a society that's so confident in its own fairness that it can look itself in the mirror without flinching. And every single document related to this proposal ends with this enigmatic, almost poetic sign-off: Awonow is Quinn. Witness remembers. Final seal governs. It's really just a memorable summary of the system's core functions: a central intelligence, an immutable memory, and a lawful authority. And that leaves all of us with one last big question to think about. If you could mathematically prove the integrity of the justice system, where else could you apply this idea? Elections? Public contracts? Environmental reporting? The possibilities, when you really start to think about it, are just profound.